What up, what up, what up? I hope y'all can hear me fine. We are inside the El Paso County Courthouse where Letitia Stauch, I'm just teasing. We're not really inside the El Paso County Courthouse, but I just decided I don't want y'all to know where I'm broadcasting from anymore. So maybe you'll never see me in my house again. Maybe I'll be somewhere else. Anyway, I'm not real into these green screen things, but I kind of like how this one works because I look pretty good. I look pretty good sitting right here. Sound is good. Everything's good. We're all good. Hey, got some new information from yesterday that we're going to talk about. And then I'm also going to talk about some information on the arrest affidavit that I didn't really cover in my last video. And when I was talking about the arrest affidavit, and I was like, quarantine, we might as well talk about some of that. And so there's some extra information that other people have talked about for sure. We're going to hear about it a little bit in this video clip I'm going to show, and then we'll kind of expand on it in like my own little way and give my own thoughts on it. Yesterday, I got an email from someone that I had been in contact with in the Patrick Frazee case. This is someone who is they're in the entertainment side of things, entertainment industry, work with I've kind of built a relationship with them because of these cases and because of Dad with a Phone, production house. They do some different stuff. The information that came in is that Court TV has filed a motion with the El Paso County and the 4th Judicial District to maybe be covering Letitia Stauch's case if they get granted permission. If they get granted that permission, that means during the actual trial. I don't think they're going to cover it during like the motion hearings and stuff, because that stuff they don't have to give expanded media coverage to. The judge has already talked about this. Court TV knows all this stuff, and they don't want to show all of that like incidental status hearing, motions hearing, all that. But if this goes to trial, Court TV is already in the works to try to cover that, which would be good for you and I both. One, they give a lot of great coverage of cases, and they know how to cover. They just know how to cover the cases without violating decorum orders, without showing juries. They're professionals when it comes to video in the whole courtroom, where normally we only get like a pool camera in there from the news organization. And the pool camera, like even in the Patrick Frazee case, the guy who did the pool camera for the Patrick Frazee case, he screwed up and zoomed in on some documents, which then ended up getting the pool camera kicked out of the courtroom. And so we could have very easily had a pool camera covering the trial of the Patrick Frazee case to then be released after the trial had they done it right. But because of, amateur camera people, and you can even go back and watch like the pool camera versus the Court TV camera stuff. So if they get to cover it, it won't be till after the fact that we'll get to see it. It's not like they're going to show it live during that. But if they get to cover the trial, it'll be a good thing. I know that they, at least the rumor is, they have filed a motion. I haven't seen that motion in the paperwork released yet. And so sometimes they don't release those motions until after the judge rules on them. They don't normally release those until after the judge has ruled on it. So, well, interesting. I thought Frazee was off limits because of old courthouse acoustics. No, the courthouse, well, one, the acoustics are bad in that courthouse, but they didn't. What happened was they allowed a pool camera in one of the first hearings. I even think it was a Crystal Lee Kinney hearing. No, it was a Patrick Frazee hearing. And the pool camera went in to get what they call a white balance on your camera. Cameras see things a little differently, and so there's a little button you push, and it white balances your camera to look, it shows natural light, whatever. He zoomed into it, and the way you do that is you have to zoom into something that looks white in your eye, right? If you look at a piece of paper and you're saying, oh, that's a white piece of paper, you zoom your camera in and you tell your camera that that is white. And so then it turns it, gets the true color. Well, he zoomed into a legal document, and the defense attorneys were like, I cannot be trying to defend my client, worried about this camera zooming into paperwork, zooming into my mouth. He started covering his mouth when he would talk to Patrick. And that is just because of an amateur cameraman that was in the room. So the defense attorney had a good argument to the judge, and the judge said, you know what? No cameras allowed. If Court TV were to be able to video and cover Letitia Stauch's case, these guys are professionals. This is what they do for a living. And so it'd be fun. What I want to do right now is I want to show a clip from Court TV of them. I think it was released yesterday. It may have been on television earlier. You may have seen this. If you don't watch Court TV, this will be new to you. If you watch Court TV, you may have already seen this. Hopefully I don't get kicked out of here because I'm showing it, but we'll see what happens. This is about the Letitia Stauch case, and it's a discussion panel with some of the Court TV people. And they talk about the arrest affidavit and show some things in the arrest affidavit. We're going to go look at the arrest affidavit after this because I talked a little bit about it, but I didn't really cover the entire affidavit. And there's one section I really want to address that I didn't address. Many of you have asked me to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about a certain section in the arrest affidavit after we watch it. I think this is about a 10-minute clip. I'm going to watch it with you. I haven't watched it yet. I've watched just portions of it. I saw a little clip and I was like, oh, I should watch this with you guys. So we'll watch it right now.
Stauch. The story began as a missing persons case.
So I'm urging anyone that has any leads, credible leads, if you're too afraid because you know something, a kid just doesn't disappear, no one sees him. It's not how this works. So if you have anything that's credible, if you're afraid, don't worry about it. Imagine my son, how afraid he is. Imagine how afraid Gannon is.
That's the family of 11-year-old Gannon Stauch looking for help to find their missing son. But just 26 days later, that emotional plea turned into heartbreak and a call for justice.
Today, I got the worst news and the best news. Obviously, we know what the worst news is, but the best news is that justice will be served. And I'll make sure that justice is served. She will pay 100% for this heinous thing she done.
Gannon's father, Al, so broken up he couldn't speak. So a member of the sheriff's office delivered his words.
My little boy is not coming home. We will never play Nintendo again. The person who committed this heinous, horrible crime is one that I gave more to anyone else on this planet, and that is a burden that I will carry with me for a very long time.
So who is this person Gannon's father is speaking about? It's Gannon's alleged killer, his wife, Gannon's stepmother. Her name is Letitia Stauch, and at the time Gannon disappeared, Letitia was part of the Stauch's blended family living in this house in Colorado Springs. Gannon's mother and father were no longer together, and Letitia was helping to raise Gannon.
As I've said in the past, we will not try this case in the media.
At this point, investigators and prosecutors have spoken very little about the facts of the case. But the prosecution's theory is laid out pretty clearly in this arrest warrant affidavit obtained by Court TV. It begins with a 911 call at 6:55 p.m. on Monday, January 27th. Letitia told the operator Gannon was supposed to come home from a friend's house an hour ago, and she was unable to locate him. At the time, Gannon's father was out of town on reserve duty. A missing person investigation was opened up, and a community began to search for a little boy.
This was a kid that it was very frequent out front, being very, being a kid, very playful, very funny.
Whatever we could do just to show them that we're thinking of them and, they're in our thoughts and prayers.
As the investigation continued, police began to question Letitia's story. They examined phone records, GPS records, home security system records, and a surveillance video from a neighbor's home.
Neighbor Roderick Drayton gave investigators his home surveillance video showing Gannon leaving with his stepmother, then returning without him on the day the child disappeared. He says he searched the video after seeing the stepmother interviewed.
Or just didn't seem right the way she was talking. Okay. If my child is missing, I'm gonna face the camera and talk to you. That you see the pain in my face.
In court, prosecutors spoke about the vast amount of evidence gathered during the investigation.
The last number that I heard was over 107 search warrants in status. Yes, 107. 107. I think that number is greater than that number, though, just based on that was last week sometime that I heard that.
These 107 search warrants uncovered a lot, including blood stains on Gannon's mattress, blood spatter on this electrical socket next to his bed, evidence of blood in the garage and near the bumper of Letitia's Volkswagen. Many of these blood samples were directly linked to Gannon's DNA. All this, enough to arrest Letitia, who was no longer in Colorado where Gannon went missing. Letitia was arrested on March 2nd in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Then, on March 20th, a huge development.
Now to breaking news at 5. It is believed that 11-year-old Gannon Stauch's remains have been found.
Gannon's remains were found not in Colorado, not in South Carolina, but in Florida, 15 miles north of Pensacola, near the Escambia River Bridge in a town called Pace.
Today, I filed new formal charges in the case against Letitia Stauch. Those charges are murder in the first degree after deliberation, a Class 1 felony that carries a potential prison sentence of life in prison without parole. In addition to that, I've filed 8 counts of crime of violence for the alleged use of a firearm, a blunt instrument, a knife or other sharp object, and for causing the death of Gannon Stauch.
Letitia Stauch is presumed innocent, and according to the arrest affidavit, she has a story. She told investigators Gannon was abducted by a Hispanic man named Edgardo, who took Gannon at gunpoint after sexually assaulting Letitia inside the family's home. That's a story investigators don't believe, but the question is, will Letitia tell that story to a jury, and will a jury believe it? Or will they deliver the justice Gannon's family is looking for?
There's so much about the actions of Letitia Stauch that don't make sense. Let's talk about some of them. Let's bring everyone back in. We've got Seema, Julie, and Ted all here tonight. The first thing that really struck me, Julie, is that her stepson goes missing.
They're just missing dad with a phone on that panel. That's what they really need.
Carolina leaves the state, not looking, not searching. This makes no sense to me.
Exactly, Vinny, exactly. That is an inappropriate reaction to a horrible situation. And that's key. Investigators look for that. Detectives are looking for those big red flags to go up. And now that this case is at the point where we've got the charges, she's in jail awaiting trial, prosecutors can ask for that flight as consciousness of guilt instruction if it's available in the state. It's available in Pennsylvania where I practice law, and that's something I would always hone in on because it says something to the jury, right? The behavior doesn't match what you would think a normal person would do when they're caring for their stepson that they love. They're going to be looking for them every second. But instead, Letitia Stauch is too concerned with telling lies and covering up her story, according to investigators, Vinny.
Yeah, Ted, I don't understand how Gannon goes missing in Colorado. She's found in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Gannon is found, his remains 15 miles north of Pensacola in the panhandle of Florida.
Yeah, and they believe that she was in Florida for 2 days during that period. They believe that is when she deposited the body. It's unclear, though, specifically how she did it, if she had any help, if she was, the logistics around it. I'm sure will come out at trial from what they know. The bottom line is the lies that she has told have been consistent. That's the only thing that's been consistent with her story, that it's been untrue from the very beginning, that, he left on his own. And then this idea that someone else came into the house and raped her and abducted him, complete nonsense. And in fact, she tried to purchase a fake lie detector result that she was going to bring back to Colorado.
I didn't talk about that at all, so I want to talk about that. That's one point I want to talk about.
I sent away for these results, and I'm not telling. The whole thing is ridiculous. A jury's going to have a lot to work with.
Lying about a lie detector.
Yes.
That's a new one. That might put her up here. That she might go past Arias and Casey Anthony with that one. That's unreal. Seema, I saved this for you to start the discussion here on not just any old internet searches, but some of these alleged deleted internet searches that she did. Are you ready? Let's put them up on the screen.
Can't wait. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just a nanny, not a stepmom. Husband uses me to babysit his kids. I'm just a glorified babysitter. Find a new husband. And the final one, find a guy without kids. Are these deleted internet searches the motive?
It is torturous for the defense. Findthenewhusband.com. Find somebody with no kids.com. And while we're at it, fakepolygraph.com. Okay, yeah, no, this case is awful. Listen, she's got to take a plea. But I also want to point out something. This affidavit, it really is a treasure trove of information. And all of you have been doing this work for a long time, but I don't think any one of us is used to having such a thick and detailed affidavit. And in the very beginning of it, it points out that this woman has an albeit slight, but significant criminal history. My question is, did the husband know? And of course, listen, I'm not blaming him or anything like that. But just like judges and lawyers are privy to our histories when we come into a court of law, if he knew that she lost her teaching certificate, if he knew that she had a misdemeanor for communicating threats, he may not have wanted to be with this woman. And she certainly knew that he had kids, and she certainly knew what she was in for as a stepmother.
Yeah, but she raised her own child. Julie, this is the part I don't understand. Like, you want someone without children, right? You feel like you're. What's wrong with a divorce? A divorce. Yeah. Just say it's not working anymore. I mean, why? Exactly. I don't understand why you'd have to take it out on this. This kid is so cute and was so full of life and was loved by everyone. Just loved playing out in the front yard with his sister and his friends. I don't understand this.
You're absolutely right. And I think that passion you're showing right now, Vinny, is exactly what the prosecution has to do and will do with this case. Why did that child have to be touched? Why? And I think if I'm the prosecutor, you're going to look at all of these things in her Google search history and point to a motive. Perhaps the motive for prosecutors might be that Letitia Stauch just wanted to be seen. She wanted to be seen. If I'm on the team of the prosecution, I'm going to be using something like that because I think that would infuriate a jury to think that this beautiful little 11-year-old angel, fifth grader, adorable child is going to be killed in such a violent way because somebody's looking for a guy without kids and feeling like a nanny. And my favorite one, and I'm quoting here, she said, "One day some people will wish they treated you differently." Now, to me, that could really go to that charge of murder after deliberation. If I'm on the prosecution team, I'm going to say, look, there's some intent wrapped up in that search right there, Vinny.
Absolutely.
So that was a court TV piece that was released yesterday. But I don't know when that piece came out exactly. I actually didn't see that piece till this morning. Someone actually messaged that to me. I had received an email from someone who does production work for Court TV, and they were giving me a heads up that Court TV has filed a motion for access, some sort of expanded media coverage of the trial. They've already filed that, or already getting that, getting that in there, so that if this does go to trial, a lot of questions in here. People wanting to know if you think she'll plead guilty or not guilty. Well, there's a couple of factors that you actually have to put into effect, and that is she is sitting inside a jail cell right now. That's where she's at. She's in a room much like the room you see right here. It may not have the exact model beds that you see up here. It may be a different type of bed. It may not even have a desk in here or a shelf. She may not have windows. But this is about the design of the standard county jail. Teller County, El Paso County. She probably doesn't have a mattress that thick, but she is sitting in jail. Okay. Now she is coming to a realization that she may, even if she's not guilty, even if she's guilty. Even if she thinks she's not guilty, or even if she looks at it in a sense of, this is going to be my life right here. This little four walls, little fake mattress, metal bed frame. It could be a concrete bed frame, depending on what kind of cell they have her in. They may not have her in a bunk cell. It may just be a single cell. Most cells have bunks because they're built for efficiency, and efficiency says you can put, actually, you could put 3 people in this room right now. They would put a bunk on the floor, like a temporary bunk on the floor in some of the county jails. She's coming to a realization that she may spend the rest of her life in a cell like this one. And there's only one way out for Letitia Stauch, and that's to be found innocent for TBag. Let's call her TBag from now on today, okay? If I say TBag and you're new to Dad with a Phone, I'm talking about Tisha, TBag. There's only one way she's getting out of jail, and that's to go to trial. This is the same. They could come to her and say, listen, if you'll tell us what you did, why you did it, give us a full confession, we'll give you life in prison without the chance of parole, and we'll drop all the other charges. They could very easily come to her and say, which means she would spend about 70 years in jail. She could probably, I don't know, she's 30 something. Nah, she's dead. She dies in jail, right? And so they could, but they already have Gannon, right? They found Gannon. If they hadn't found Gannon's body, I would say they would be more likely to offer her something to save the money on court. Not because they can't prove that she did it. I don't think they're going to offer her a deal based on the fact that they can't prove that she did it. It would be more of the defense attorneys. So a lot of times the deals that happen with defense, a lot of times what happens with these deals is not because I need to explain this, because people want to blame, they blame Dan May in the KK deal. KK is Crystal Lee Kinney. She made a deal to tell a story about Patrick Frazee. And after the deal was done, she would then testify against Patrick. She would tell the story. She would show investigators, right? The deal was already done when they signed it for her, right? And so a lot of times, though, it's not the prosecuting attorney. It's not the DA's office who makes up the deals. How I know this is my name is Michael Dalton. You can look this up. I actually just took a deal from the 4th Judicial District. And the way that deal went down wasn't necessarily the prosecutors coming to me and making a deal. It was my attorney, even though my attorney knew I wanted to go to trial. And my attorney started with like some really smoking deals, and the prosecuting attorney, the DA's office, said yes. And then they came back to me and I was like, I'm not taking that deal. My attorney didn't come to me and say, will you take this deal if I take this deal to the attorney, to the prosecutors, right? And he knew he came to me and we talked back and forth, and I was like, I don't know, go see if they'll take it, and maybe if they'll take it, maybe I'll take it, right? I went back and forth. They went back and forth for a good hour, and this is in a minor misdemeanor case. And finally, he comes back to me and's like, listen, your license plate light was out. Will you plead guilty to your license plate light out, and they'll throw everything else out? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. But you have to understand, the deal process went, my attorney took a deal to them, got them to agree on the deal. They worked out the sentencing agreements and all of that stuff, then came back to me and said, okay, this is what they've done. In this case, I could see her public defender saying, do you want to plead guilty to this? If you want to plead guilty to this, let me go talk to the DA and see what I can get you reduced in sentencing, cooperating. Or the defense attorney could go to them and say, listen, you're innocent until they prove you guilty. It depends on who's defending her, who public defender. If the public defender could say, listen, this public defender's got a rapist off. She's got a murderer off before the one that's defending her. You can go check, unless she got the COVID and she's out. We don't know if she's one that got COVID or not, but she was coughing a lot for sure. She had an uncontrollable cough during the arraignment. And then all of a sudden it turned out that inside the public defender's office, people were coming down with the COVID. So if the defender doesn't have COVID, and if the public defender wants to say, listen, Letitia, TBag, you're guilty, or TBag, you're innocent until they prove you guilty. And if the public defender is feeding her these lines, then T-Bag's going to say, well, then let's go to trial, and no deal, and court TV shows up. It would be in her best interest that if she ever wants to see the light of day, to go to trial. On the flip side, it may be in her worst interest to go to trial with the amount of evidence they have. You heard court TV. Now, those people on court TV are good. I don't know if they're as good of commentators as I am, but they're good because they have law degrees, they're lawyers, they're judges. They've been around this. They got their polished 4K faces on. They shaved this morning. I did not. Okay, listen, they're good, but they're not that good. But one thing that they pointed out, because they have definitely seen more cases than I have, is how thick and how big and how many pages, and 107 arrest warrants. But you were there when I asked Michael Allen, I said, that's just bare minimum. 107 arrests, or not arrest warrants, but search warrants. That's just bare minimum. They may have even more that they haven't filed yet. And after that was before they found Gannon. Once they found Gannon, it's over with. They could be filing search warrants across the country at every gas station she stopped at or every food place she stopped at. And so this is going to be a thick evidence case. And we already know that he has tons of video. I got to get out of this jail cell. I can't be in the same place Tisha's at right now, because that ain't no fun. I'd rather be in a courtroom than in a jail cell. So that you got to understand, will she plea out of this? No, because I bet she thinks I would rather be in a courtroom than a jail cell. The only way you get out of a jail cell is to go to a courtroom. If you make a deal, you're probably never getting out of a jail cell. 88% of the 88% of the population in prison today are there on plea deals. 88% of everyone in the prison system is there on a plea deal. Now, we don't have any of the scary things. They know a murder took place. They have a body. We know that. They have blood evidence. We have all that stuff. Now, another thing that this court TV, again, turned me on to, I had read the affidavit. I had seen the fake polygraph test. I had read all that information. I didn't talk to you guys about it because in my mind, this just shows, I mean, like it's obvious. It shows guilty, right? It shows you're guilty. You're guilty. You're trying to lie your way through. You're guilty, right? And that's what court TV showed that, and they were like, listen, this you want to lie about a lie detector test. And so I thought that was pretty cute. I thought it was funny. I thought it was one of those things where she literally is lying about this. And if you haven't seen this, oh, I got the COVID. Got the COVID right now. Y'all don't judge me. I'm just teasing. I don't have COVID. I got a runny nose. I got a runny nose. Where'd it go? Where'd my StreamYard go? All right. This fake polygraph test. This thing is brilliant, by the way. Let me zoom in here. See if I can read this. Get a fully verified false polygraph test certificate, providing you have taken a really polygraph test. You choose the questions and results. We send you a fully verified report within 1 business hour. The false polygraph results are emailed from a local real polygraph company. Oh my goodness. If your partner calls the company or will confirm the test details. Oh, they will confirm the test details. They will believe you. We have nationwide real polygraph companies in the following countries. I can't read some of this because our polygraph reports are 3 to 4 pages. Local polygraph company, branding, and contact details are the fake polygraph test report. The polygraph test results are emailed from real polygraph companies. All right, so this right here says in this affidavit on February 18th, a call at about 10-14 hours, TBag called the number. Oh, dude, let's call this number right now. They are with Dad with the phone. Let's call this number. This is Dad with the phone. We got to call this number. I wonder if they're still working during COVID.
Hello, and thank you for calling. We're not able to take your call at this time, but if you'll leave your name and a detailed message and your phone number, we will return your call as soon as possible.
Yes, I'm trying to get someone. I gotta trick my wife. She's about to take me to court in the middle of this COVID thing, and I gotta get a polygraph test taken. Y'all gotta give me a call back, man. This is serious business. I got your number from Letitia Stauch, and I just need to get this polygraph test taken quick. So please give me a call back, 719-377-0343. Come on, y'all know that's fun. Let's go check out real quick. Let me go check out this. I'm going to go check out a website. What is this website called? Fakepolygraph.com. Fake lie detector. Fake polygraph. Test.com maybe. I got fake lie detector test. Maybe that's what it is. No, but they said fake polygraph. There is no fake. There is no fake. Fakepolygraph.com. There's no such thing as fakepolygraph.com. There's no such thing. Come on, guys, don't do this. Oh, no, because I put fake polygraph test. Doesn't seem to be a real website. Maybe I misspelled it. That's why. Oh, it is. Oh, it is a weird. It's the same website. Okay, so it's the same website. Now that makes sense. Fake lie detector test and fake polygraph test take you to the same website. Let me pull it up right here and I'll show you the website. So, all right. Get a fully verified. Okay, so this is what they showed. This is what the thing. It's only $60 US. How it works. You provide a list of question results, a password, the location when the polygraph test took place. We email you a realistic and authentic 4-page, 5-page polygraph certification, detailed questions. Let's watch this video. Oh, did I didn't put audio in. Let's put audio in real quick so y'all can watch this. We got to see exactly what she was trying to do. It's ridiculous. What the heck is this? What is this you're watching? Fake polygraph test? Is this their ad? I don't understand. I don't understand what we're watching.
J'étais embarqué dans un camion de livraison.
Then I was loaded.
Et puis j'ai atterri ici.
Oh, how I ended up here.
Oh, c'est incroyable. Hein? T'entends ça, chérie?
Bah oui, c'est fou.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, this is just a never underestimate the power of a great story. Okay, makes sense. Whatever that is. Let's see. Order bespoke fake test. So, okay, I'm kind of understanding what this thing is. I have kind of an understanding because the way they get away with this not being well, I guess it's just totally kind of a sham thing for, cheating husbands or something. But there's a company called WarezStore.com, and you can go there and you can literally download any software you want for like 25 bucks. But in their terms of agreement, they say you have to have a real license, right? But then when you download their software, they give you like a license crack. But in their terms of agreement, they're like, we only provide software to people who have bought original software. This is for backup imagery purposes only, blah, 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 right? They take your 25 bucks, then they give you the software. But in their legal language, they're like, this is for backup. It's kind of the same thing, I think, with these polygraph tests is like, have you taken a real one and you need just a result, you know? You just need like a double copy of your, but they call it fake. I don't know. It's a crazy concept. It's funny that they busted her. It's funny that she actually did this, that people like would actually do this and go get a fake polygraph test. And so this is what I viewed the website fakepolygraph.com and found the following information. Also on February 18, 2020, at about 11:16 hours, TBag called this number. That was the number we just called. What do you do now? Just delete it and go on about life and keep the money. Wait. Questions, and stated that with any illegal activity, they reserve the right to send the report. Wait. The unknown male stated that her report was blocked by management based on the content of the questions, and stated that with any illegal activity, they reserve the right to not send the report. Letitia's response was the following. What do you do now? Just delete it and go on about life and keep the money. Mel at fakepolygraph.com. Yes, we do indeed. Letitia. Okay, I got you. Thank you. Goodbye. Investigators contacted Luke Devlin. Utilized the phone number that Letitia called. Mr. Devlin provided information to investigators, including the questions and answers that Letitia had provided. Letitia provided the following questions and answers. I haven't read this. I must have missed this. Fake polygraph. Do you intend to answer these questions regarding your stepson truthfully? Yes. Is your birthday August 4th, 1983? Yes. Did you participate in any way in causing harm to your stepson? No. Did your stepson return with you to your home? Yes. Did you participate in any way in causing his death of your stepson? No. I submit to the court that if Letitia had nothing to hide, she would not have to pay for a fake polygraph results. Conclusion. Based on data collected by the FBI and reported to the Journal of Forensic Science, I learned that over 71% of homicide cases that involve false reporting, the reporting party is responsible for the murder. To be clear, the statistic is not being provided as sole probable cause for the request warrant, but as an additional fact to combine with other listed in the affidavit. Based on TBag's internet history, it is reasonable to believe that she was unhappy married to Mr. Stauch and had some degree of resentment towards the family as a step-parent. Furthermore, days before Gannon's murder, TBag appeared to be researching a move to another state to a 2-bedroom apartment. TBag has not provided a fully truthful statement to investigators at any point during the investigation, particularly regarding the circumstances of Gannon's disappearance. This would be reasonably suspect activity of an individual that committed the crime under investigation, namely murder. Within approximately 24 hours of Gannon being reported missing and without external prompt, TBag made claims to law enforcement that she was being set up. Initially, TBag and Gannon was playing with a neighbor friend between approximately 15 hours and 1600 and was expected home at 1800. Within a few days, TBag changed her story to label herself a victim of rape, felony menacing with a weapon, and assault, resulting in Gannon's abduction by her rapist. Her stories continue to evolve to include a new location of Gannon's disappearance over by her rapist. Her stories 30 miles away. Several completely different sets of circumstances and unprompted explanations for why Gannon's blood would be found by investigators' key locations. TBag was unable to provide a logical reason why she returned another vehicle while she still had access to the Taigen. Based on the aforementioned facts, it was likely because it contained the remains of or evidence of Gannon's remains. Based on positive reactions to luminol in the Volkswagen or whatever it is, the Taigun on the bumper, indicating the likely presence of blood on the rear tailgate. Any suspected blood sample from the interior of the trunk area returned a negative result for the presumptive presence of blood. Gannon's mattress. Okay, so this just goes into that. This fake polygraph test. 71%, it says here, by a study in the Journal of Forensic Science, I learned that in over 71% of homicide cases that involve false reporting, the reporting party is responsible for the murder. That's an interesting statistic that they use for to get this arrest affidavit. Again, he says that not just because I got this statistic doesn't mean this is the reasoning for the arrest affidavit. It's just like a little nail. Here's a nail. Here's a nail. Like someone said, nail in the coffin, nail in the coffin, nail in the coffin. So he just ticked all his nails down every side of the coffin, and that's what made it look like that. The Quincy Brown guy was named Quincy Brown is one of the most, like, he was listed on the Colorado Springs Most Wanted website or something like that. She named him early or something like that. Like, that's the guy who did it. She then came back and named the Hispanic male, Facebook, proper term, Hispanic male, not Hispanic male. And Letitia is a Caucasian. No, Letitia isn't a white woman. She is a Native American woman. So this Native American woman tried to put the blame on a Hispanic male. I hope that doesn't get me blocked. I got put in jail for using and. So you can't use those words on Facebook. You can't put them in the titles at least. Did you know he is on the Most Wanted website? Yes, I already said that. Sent a picture of Quincy from the website. Let me see. Oh yeah, she said something about that. Let's look up Quincy. Let's. I mean, he's Most Wanted. We might as well look him up, right? So she tried to blame old Quincy. Is it Quincy Brown? Quincy. Dude, he has a search. Monday's Most Wanted. Quincy Brown is accused of failing to register as a sex offender and is also wanted on drug charges. Brown is described as a 5'7", 185 black male with brown hair and brown eyes. So that's who she originally. Oh, I didn't even show you. I'm sorry. Let me see. Hey, this is February, so that's when he was listed. So that's Quincy right there, that picture of him. I'm just on like KKTV's little thing. So they listed him, and she went there and tried to use that as a story. The fake polygraph test is probably one of the craziest pieces of evidence that they're going to use against her, in a sense, to say, listen, your girl tried to get away with buying a fake polygraph test, and they got somebody on that number. I bet that dude's pissed that they gave it his number. I'm going to try one more time. See if he'll answer.
Hi, how can I help?
Hey, I was calling about your like fake polygraph website.
Yeah, how can I help?
How did you come up with this this idea to do these things now? And what's the process and purpose behind them?
Okay, yeah. What do you mean by how did we come up with the idea?
Like to do to provide what you would call a fake polygraph result. Why? Like, when did you guys come up with this? When did y'all start doing this?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, it's something that's to help guys out with their relationships. So, as I say, we only have a couple of people a year using the service.
Oh, okay. So you're saying like if a guy's having an issue with a woman and he's trying to convince her about something, he can come in and fill this information out?
Correct.
So I'm in the US, and your number was given out by the El Paso County because I guess supposedly you had a murderer call in to try to get a fake polygraph test done.
Right. Okay.
Have you ever was this the first time this happened?
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to confirm any information or anything on any obviously requests that the website gets.
Oh, okay. You're not allowed to talk about it?
No, well, we're not allowed to talk about any sort of things that come through. But as I say, we only receive 2 or 3 clients a year using the website, so it's not something that we really engage in.
Oh, I gotcha. Have you ever had? Can you say have you ever had a murderer call in and try to get a test before?
No.
Oh, okay. So that was this girl Letitia Stauch was your first?
As I say, we can't confirm anything like that. I don't really know what you're talking about.
Oh, I gotcha. All right. Well, man, hey, I saw, they gave your number out. We seen your website. We were checking it out, and I thought I'd give you a call just to kind of find out more. Thanks for your time.
Okay. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I don't want to bug the guy, it's kind of like a dating thing, right? You want to, on TikTok now, they have this new like ringtone where you like let your phone ring, and then it's like a speaker phone, and you're like supposed to be videoing your other partner. And then when the speaker phone's up, it's like, hey honey, can I come over? And then all of a sudden your significant other freaks out and starts doing something, and it's like, oh, is she still there? I don't know if you've seen that yet. I haven't done that one. I was thinking about trying that on Nikki just to mess with her. But it's the same kind of concept. It's like your girlfriend's, accusing you of cheating, and you're like, listen, honey, I went down and I took a polygraph test. Here are the results. Look at the question. So, hey, I didn't want to bug the guy. I tried to get information out of him. He wanted to, I can't confirm or deny. You take what he said and how he said it for however it is. Hey, thanks for watching Dad with a Phone today. Like I said, Court TV coming to Colorado Springs, probably, most likely, could be, hopefully. And Letitia tries to take a fake polygraph test. If you're new to Dad with a Phone, you can follow me at all the links below. Dad with a Phone, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. And if you like watching what you're seeing and you want to throw a little money in the bucket, you can throw a little money in the bucket at the PayPal link below. You're not obligated to do that in any way, shape, or form to watch. It is simply an opportunity to give. If you want to give to Dad with a Phone a little bit, keep me doing these shows or whatever. I'm gonna do them anyway, but there's my bucket. Thanks for joining this morning. We're gonna follow this case through. Just so you know, you may or may not have heard, they have moved the April 14th court date. So she was supposed to go in for a status hearing on April 14th. They have moved that, and they haven't released the new date, but it will not be until June. It'll be sometime in June. They've moved that status hearing. She has not pled guilty or not. She has not pled innocent or guilty yet, which means they are not pushed up against speedy trial. They do not push you up against speedy trial until you make a plea. She will not make a plea until maybe that status hearing, and we'll go from there. And maybe not even then. That at that point, they may change it to an arraignment hearing, just because they've had enough time to go over the information. They have had enough time to go over the evidence for her to make a proper plea. That's why they put off her plea the first time, was because they didn't have the arrest affidavit. They didn't have the search warrants. They didn't have all the due process that they needed to make the decision, to talk to her in a logical manner to say, this is what you should do. Now they do, and it's been put off till June. We won't find out till what she's going to do in June. Again, hopefully Court TV gets in the building. Dad with a phone will be there, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.